Like many of you, I imagine, I knew that I wanted to do public service. As I left law school, I remember thinking about people like George Shultz and Cyrus Vance, prominent figures of the day who had successful private sector careers and served periodically in government. The head of the investment bank in New York, where I worked as a young man, was Nicholas F. Brady, who had an extraordinary career in investment banking and had served as well as a U.S. Senator from New Jersey. I was the most junior of employees, but I wanted to introduce myself and tell him about my own aspirations. But approaching him was quite daunting. Maybe he would decline to meet with me. Maybe he would think I wasn't committed to the firm if I told him I was interested in public service. I finally summoned the courage to present myself at his office. I told him that I grew up in Washington, had been a federal law clerk and a congressional staffer, and wanted to do public service along the way. I said that if you need someone to staff you on anything you do in Washington, I'm your guy. He said something along the lines of, "Great, thanks." I then crept back down the stairs to my broom closet of an office, wondering whether that was going to matter. A few months later, though, I got a call from his secretary. I can still hear her gravelly voice saying, "Can you come up and see Mr. Brady?" When I got up there, he said, "I need you to help me out with this thing." This thing turned out to be defending an oil company from a hostile takeover attempt by a colorful corporate raider of that era named T. Boone Pickens. I ended up spending months going back and forth from New York to Washington with Nick. A few years later, Nick Brady became the Treasury Secretary. Nick asked me to join him at Treasury, which opened the door for me to higher levels of public service. The point is this: if I had not forced myself to get up from my desk, taken the stairs up to the 15th floor, and presented myself at his office that day, the rest of my life would have been very different, and I would not be standing here today. Mustering that little bit of initiative changed my life. A little initiative can make all the difference in anyone's career. I'll conclude by encouraging you to think beyond yourselves. Each of you has the capability to achieve success in any field you choose. It's important that you also consider how to give back and use your gifts to make a difference. Reflect on the motto of this school: law is but the means, justice is the end. Many of you have served at law clinics where you stood up for underrepresented individuals and organizations. And many of you will play important roles in the military, at nonprofits, and in governments around the world. Each generation has an obligation to move us closer to the ideal, as embodied by the famous image of blindfolded Lady Justice holding the scales. You should count yourselves among the luckiest in all our society to graduate from this institution, to have the support of loved ones through 3 grueling years, and the health and other good fortune not to get tripped up along the way. Several years ago, one of my predecessors, Ben Bernanke, said, "Those who are the luckiest also have the greatest responsibility to work hard, to contribute to the betterment of the world, and to share their luck with others." I can't improve upon that.